Hi beautiful soul. In this video I'm going to share how to let go of things that are no longer serving your highest good in 5 steps. So the first step is to meditate and journal on the things in your life that are going well and the things that aren't. So this is step number 1. We need to get really clear on what areas of our life potentially need some adjustment, what is holding us back, and that's step number 2, identifying the reasons that things are not going well. Why are these particular areas in our life not going well? So why do I keep attracting the same type of person in relationships? Why do I keep landing in toxic work dynamics? And that's really going to hone in on what you need to let go of from an introspective perspective. So identifying the reasons some things are not going well is going to be really important to know, like where to direct your attention to, and what might need to change. And then step 3 is to look at who or what you might need to let go of. And this may be your own internal thoughts, your beliefs, scarcity and lack mindsets, things like that, addictions, bad habits. And then also the people around you. So who is supporting you and who isn't? Who doesn't treat you with respect? What situations or people basically leave you feeling worse after being around them or in those situations than you would have otherwise? So that's a really important step, identifying what needs to go. And then step 4 is to acknowledge any feelings of fear that come up when you kind of think about cutting something out or letting something go. So it can be really scary to leap into the unknown and trust that there's something better out there for you. So I would just encourage journaling and processing any feelings of fear that come up for you. And remember that fear is just false evidence appearing real, and we can step forward despite feelings of fear that come up. And then step 5 is to let go, and I would suggest thinking about the most appropriate way for this to occur for a particular situation. So I've implemented different strategies depending on the situation and what was required. And the first method is the fading out method, which is probably the method that I implement the most in my life. It's the most common one. And so that is just looks like putting less effort in until I put 0 effort in. And usually this works in situations where I'm the one carrying that friendship or that relationship forward. And so, you know, as I'm realizing the true nature of a one-sided friendship, for example, I'm not wanting to spend as much time with that person. I'm diverting my attention to other things and other more fulfilling, friendships. And so the fading out method is just the one that I would implement, particularly with friendships. And this causes the least amount of drama I found as well. The second method is the disappearing act method. So I've employed this method with people who I wasn't super close with, or situations that I wasn't committed to in any deep way. I just find that just completely removing myself altogether, not initiating anything, and just like not participating in certain situations or certain group catch-ups, things like that, to be very effective, where I knew that those environments or those groups of people were just like not really resonating with me and not good for me and not good for my highest good. So that can be really effective if possible. Also being assertive. So this one's required in workplaces, for example, where a resignation letter is required, and also in romantic relationships. For me personally, I implement the being assertive method even in early dating situations. So if it's only been a couple of dates, for example, and I know that it's not leading anywhere and we're not resonating, I'll usually send a text message and just explain that I'm going to end things here, and due to, I briefly explain the reason, and then I'll thank them and wish them all the best. And then the final option is the burning bridges option, which doesn't come up for me like much at all these days, but it certainly did when I was younger. And this was in emotionally charged or toxic relationship situations where a person would lose their composure and become really emotionally dysregulated and be yelling and things like that. And, I will have known that the relationship had run its course and I had outgrown it, and I would just use that, outburst or that argument as the opportunity to cease any further communication. So, letting go can be hard, but it is a necessary step as we grow. So, we're here on planet Earth for our souls to evolve, and unfortunately, that's typically through the experience of suffering. And so, once we learn a lesson and beat that level in life, we need to let go to get to the next level. Otherwise, we get sucked in to another repeat of that cycle. So I hope this was helpful. I love you. See you in the next video.